about it. Magician performs psychic miracle. Read all about it. Welcome to the School of Magic.
Who's the guy who's full of fun? Magic Peter. Who's the guy who's number one? Magic Peter. Who's the guy?
So today's trick is going to use a newspaper. Now, I've just picked this newspaper up. I haven't even looked at it. I haven't opened it. I've just picked it up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to choose one of the pages, okay? Would you like this one? Would you like this one? Would you like this? You'd like that one? Okay, sure. All right. Let me take that page out. Okay, so we'll use this page. The newspaper I will give to my invisible friend over here. My invisible friend is going to hold on to the newspaper for me while I just take a look at this page, because they don't know it, but my invisible friend over here chose this page for a reason. Yeah. And even though they haven't taken conscious note of what's in the rest of the newspaper, they subconsciously know something about it. So let's have a look. In here, what have we got? We've got a story about a family that are taking part in a vaccine trial. That must be all to do with the coronavirus, I expect. Okay, what's this? Council to decide whether A41 will have reduced speed. Oh, okay. Right, and then what else have we got? DIY pub pizza kits. Hey, that's clever. I like that idea. Right, and what else have we got? Oh, there's some the jobs page there. No. And what else have we? Oh, more jobs. Okay. Oh, you're not out of work, are you, invisible friend? No. Okay. So we've got jobs here, and we've got jobs here. And we've got the DIY pub pizza kits, and we've got, oh yes, the family taking the vaccine trial. Do you know what? That's what I know about these pages. I think you know more than you think you know about the whole newspaper. Because I haven't opened the newspaper until now. I've just taken this page out. And yet I know, because you know, how many pages are in that newspaper. Have a look. Have a look at the back page. Is there a number on the back page? There isn't. Oh. Okay. Have a look at the inside the back page then. Is there a page number on the penultimate page, the one before last? There is. Okay, don't tell me what it is. Because I think there are, judging by these stories and the psychic vibrations I'm getting off you now, I think that newspaper has 64 pages in it. Am I right? It's a miracle. Thank you very much. So, I promise you that I did not open this newspaper before I perform the trick. This is a great trick to perform if you're in somebody else's house. Okay, if you're in somebody else's house and you see a newspaper, okay, just ask somebody to take out one of the sheets. Now this is the page I asked somebody to take off. Take out one of the sheets of the newspaper and hand it to you. And then, like I did, just have a look at the articles that are on that page. As I say, story about a family doing a vaccine trial, and we've got DIY pub pizza kits, and what have we got? Job adverts there and job adverts there. Okay. But you're not interested in that. You really aren't. Let me show you something. There, that's page number 7. Okay, so obviously on the other side is page number 8. Yeah, page number 8, can you see that? Yeah. And over here we've got page number 9. No, we haven't, because it's from the back of the paper. This is page 57, and on the other side is page 58. Okay, now here's the thing. If you add these 4 page numbers together, 7 and 8 and 57 and 58, well, let's do the maths now. 58 plus 57 is, can you do that in your head? 58 plus 57 is 115, and 8 is 123, and add 7, 123 and 7 is 130. Now if I divide 130 by 2, that gives me 65. And if I take away 1, that gives me 64. The exact number of pages there are in the whole newspaper. So as long as you can remember that formula, you'll always be able to work out how many pages there are in a newspaper just from one of the sheets. Let's just take another sheet, this one. Okay. Now this has got pages 9, 10, 55 and 56. So let's see how good you are at maths. 56 plus 55 is how many? 111, that's right. 111 plus 10 is 121. 121 plus 9 is 130. Divide it by 2 is 65. Take away 1 is 64. And lo and behold, this paper has got 64 pages in it. And it works every single time. So all you need to do is dress it up with a little bit of psychic mumbo jumbo. As I say, if you're in somebody's house, ask them, if you see a newspaper, just ask them to take a look at the newspaper and choose any sheet from that newspaper and just slide it out and give it to you. Okay, so they choose maybe this one. This one's got a crossword on it. Okay, so give me this page, and you let them have the rest of the paper. And ask them to take a look at it. Ask them to have a look at the articles, see if there's any articles that catch their eye. While you're doing that, you're going to have a look at this paper here. You look as though you're looking at the articles and the reports in the paper, but what you're actually doing is adding 36 to 35, that's 71, plus 29 is 71 plus 29 is 100, plus 30, 130. You divide it by 2, which is 65. You take away 1, which is 64, and then you just need to do your bit of psychic mind reading. You ask the person who's been looking at the newspaper if there was anything special that they noticed about the newspaper, and then you tell them that subconsciously they know something about the newspaper that nobody else knows, and that is because they've been flicking through the newspaper. You could even ask them to have a look at the back page if you want. Have a look at the sports report. You say, even though they don't realise it, they know something about this paper that nobody else knows, and that is how many pages there are in total. And you then ask them to just concentrate for a moment while you read their minds and tell them that in total there are 64 pages in the newspaper. And when they check, there are 64 pages in the newspaper. Because there would be, because of this mathematical quirk that if you take one sheet out and add the 4 pages together, divide by 2 and take away 1, that is the total page count in the newspaper. So there you go. That's a little known fact about newspapers that you can use to your advantage to give the impression that you have psychic abilities. If you just give the rest of the newspaper to someone else and get them to flick through it and have a look at it, look at some of the articles while you're looking at the one sheet of newspaper that you've got. And you can say, did you see anything in particular on any of those pages? No? The strange thing is, I think you counted them. I think you know how many pages there are in the whole newspaper. And just take it from there. How you present it is up to you. All you need to remember is if you add the 4 page numbers together and then divide by 2 and then take away 1, that is the total number of pages in a newspaper. Now the fact is that I was going to try and present this trick to you with a comic. This is my daughter's copy of the Beano. But when I actually look at the comic, guess what? Doesn't have any page numbers. That's why I used the newspaper instead. The thing about a newspaper as well is it isn't stapled together. So you look, comics are stapled together. Newspapers aren't. So it's much easier to take a sheet of newspaper out of a newspaper. Having said that, there are plenty of comics and magazines for children that do have page numbers. So all you need to do is ask a grown-up to take the staples out and then just to hand you one of the sheets. And from that you can tell how many pages are in the comic or the magazine. So there you go. Psychic newspaper test. How about that? I'll be back tomorrow at the School of Magic. Come by and say hello. I'd love to see you. Bye.
Who's the guy who's full of fun?